Hello, everybody. Welcome to lucky episode number 7 of Soundtown.
Ooh, it is lucky. Oh, and I'm Russ, and I feel lucky to be here.
Yeah, me too. We got a super duper special guest today.
Oh, for sure. Right before we talk about our guest, though, Eric, I do want to mention a quick thing here. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Our podcast is presented to everybody through Best Available Player, which is a collective of other podcasts put together by two of my friends from college. And I just want to promote the website, bestavalableplayer.com. So, you know, it costs money to run a website. It costs money to host our podcast episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and stuff like that. And my two friends, Ryan Waldis and Matt DeLuca, are paying out of their own pocket to have all that stuff running. And we can't thank them enough. I do know, though, if you do want to support Best Available Player, they did set up a Patreon. And I'll put that link in the description of the podcast, as well as in the description if you watch us on YouTube. If you go to bestavalableplayer.com, you can find the Patreon link there. I think he mentioned it's in the About section of the website. And there have been people who reached out to me who said they did want to find ways to support the podcast, which we immensely appreciate. We're so glad that people are having fun, enjoying listening to our discussions with some of our favorite bands. So bestavalableplayer.com. Thank you to them, and go check out some other. There's awesome podcasts on there besides us. If you're a sports fan, they keep you up to date. There's what about just pop culture in general, and there's also a lot of really cool articles on that website. So if you're looking for something to do to pass the time, go check out bestavalableplayer.com. With all that being said, back here in Soundtown, we had the awesome opportunity to talk to Luke Henderiks of Teenage Halloween. Teenage Halloween, one of our favorite local bands, who just put out their first self-titled album. And I can't be more proud and excited for them. How do you think our conversation went, Eric?
I thought it was awesome. Teenage Halloween is like one of the most hardworking bands that we know of, just in the scene. And they have been for so long, pretty much since we've been in there. They've been around and working.
For sure. Like Luke said, 6 years in the making, and now they have their record out. We highly suggest you go check it out. And I guess without further ado, here's our conversation with Luke.
I passed the gas station. My thoughts all seem to rhyme. Existential, I'll take it. My urges are all fuck this time. Lay down on the mattress.
This has been in the works for a week. But
yeah, I always end up disappearing.
It's awesome. Hey, where are you right now?
I'm in my basement.
Nice. Where are you living right now?
I live in Asbury Park. I live like probably 5 minutes outside of it. Like I live in Ocean Township, New Jersey.
Okay, I went to school at Monmouth University.
Oh,
so
sick.
Yeah, I lived in that area for like 4 years.
So you went to Nelly's?
I didn't. What's Nelly's?
Oh, that's like
I didn't get out much in college.
Like that sandwich spot that has they have sandwiches that are it's like mozzarella sticks, fries, and chicken.
Oh, fat sandwiches. Yeah, I love those
things. It's like right on Monmouth campus, and I always just say that to anyone that went to Monmouth because it's just funny as fuck.
No, I literally, again, I went there 4 years. I've never heard of that in my life.
That's crazy.
How sad is that?
Guess I'm hanging with the wrong crowd.
You're hanging with the wrong, yeah. Because you know what I'd do on the weekends? I'd go home to New Brunswick and I'd play a show, right, guys?
Yeah, that's I guess. Not now, but.
Not right now.
Yeah, no, it's like LOL season for that. Yeah.
Well, how you doing? How you feeling? Have you been to spending time during quarantine?
Oh, I'm good. I'm happy that the album's coming out. I mean, is out. I'm like watching a lot of movies, just hanging out. Been very low key actually. Like most of the time. I went out a lot more recently because that everything's starting to open up a lot and my FOMO got too heavy.
Sure.
And, but overall been good. Been trying to embrace solitude a lot more. So that's been really weird, but cool. I'm just trying to get yourself to a level where being alone a lot more is healthy. It kind of quarantine, weird enough, kind of, I feel like changed like the whole social dynamic of people. Where like we're now like valuing alone time a lot more, and then when there is like when there's more like shows and parties again, we're gonna probably have a lot more like value on like self-care.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people who are just like, oh, I was built for the quarantine. Like, I'm a loner. No, you don't like it?
That's me.
Yeah, no, I'm like a I guess I say a lot of the time that I'm kind of a loner, but it made me realize that I'm a lot more extroverted than I thought.
Wow.
Like this whole quarantine thing, because it made me kind of be like, oh, I was kind of just playing myself when I say that, because I feel like it's a lot different to be forced to not do as much, and it kind of like takes a toll. If it takes a toll on you more than you think it would, it's usually like a surprise.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to get into the music and stuff, Luke, but
Cool.
right before we get into that, I mean, I'd like to just share a quick story. And I think I've told you this before, Luke, but I just remember when we first started our band, Shark Club.
Yeah.
It was me and my buddy Jake. And Jake, we were writing music together, and we said, we really want to get into basement shows. But, probably the best way to get our foot in the door is to maybe go to a basement show, see how that all works, maybe meet some people. Mm-hmm. So we went to a house in New Brunswick called Paradise Lost.
Okay.
And I can't remember the other band. And it was that band, and it was Teenage Halloween.
Cool.
And so we're in the basement. It's a pretty decent sized crowd. And the music is off the chain. And we were like, oh, Teenage Halloween. That was such a sick set. These peeps know what they're doing. And from that kind of moment on, we viewed Teenage Halloween as like role models in the DIY like basement scene for us personally. Oh, nice. So whenever we've crossed paths or had the opportunity to either play with you or see you perform, it's always been just like such a pleasure.
Cool. Yeah.
And it's an honor to have you on the pod today.
Hell yeah. No, same with y'all. We're always stoked when y'all are on a bill with us. So it's like, it's really cool. We started basement, like playing a lot of basement shows very early on in our lives. So like, it was like a weird thing where we kind of just like, we had nothing to do. So we just kept trying to like, and we didn't have a lot of friends. So we kept trying to just like play as many house shows as possible to feel a lot more fulfilled about ourselves. And it was a little selfish, but it was really fun. And we were playing since we were like 16. So this whole
wow.
So yeah, we were like playing basement shows at like 16 years old in New Brunswick, and it kind of like happened natural for us just because I had a few older friends that were like in college at the time at Rutgers. So we were given the opportunity to like open up like at house shows around town, and that definitely like got our foot in the door. Because that band's like, do you know Mumbler? Like they were one of the first bands we played shows with. There was we played with that band. What was that band called? I don't know, The Pet. They used to be called Snoozer. We played with them, and like a lot of our early New Brunswick experiences were actually thanks to Philly bands coming to town.
Nice.
So it's cool to see y'all as like the next generation of like Philly punk, and it's always been a really cool community because that it's always been able to like share that energy all around, because like New Jersey is definitely more of like because y'all are from New Jersey, right? Like originally.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in Jersey now, so is Eric.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So New Jersey
we live
is
about like 15 minutes from New Brunswick.
Yeah, as y'all know, New Jersey is a giant suburb. So when you see bands come from a city nearby that rock, it's really inspiring. So yeah, I'm super glad to be on the show. I'm stoked that y'all play shows in Philly, and y'all some of y'all were living there and doing stuff there.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, and something that we've noticed, I mean, we love to play music together, but, we've also got jobs on the side, and we're going to school. So we find maybe month or maybe even like 6-month chunks where we aren't able to record or play shows. Yeah, but after that brief hiatus, we'll come back and we'll play a basement show either in Philly or New Brunswick. and it's almost like we never left. Everyone's still stoked to see us and hang out, and so it's just a testament to the community, as you were saying.
Yeah, no, it's a great feeling, because also like the like last year and the year before, we were definitely playing a lot less frequently at times, and it like practice this is controversial, but practice doesn't define how good a band is. If you just get back into it and are stoked, your band is probably really good. Like if you like just try and like you come back to playing and you just feel it, it's awesome. So, because like I bet y'all felt the best you felt in a while when you do it again for the first time. And I feel like that emotion carries weight in a performance much more than practicing. So,
yeah. I mean, that's my favorite thing, looking over at Eric and I see that he's having a good time. It makes me feel like I'm having yeah. And then even the thing that's best for me is when we're all in the same car on the way to the gig. That's the best part for me.
The Wawa stops.
The stop.
Yeah. No, when you see what's on everyone's ticket nowadays. Yeah, no, it's cool. No, that we were like, when we were taking a lot more breaks, it was definitely like a super fulfilling time to like get back into it. And I think I feel like a lot of time apart keeps the band really healthy. And I mean, like not a lot, but like chosen time apart. And I feel like that absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's cool. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about the early days of Teenage Halloween? That's so interesting. I didn't realize you guys had started playing at so young. Can you talk about like the genesis or the formation?
Yeah, so I started the band when I was about 15, I think, and it was just me for a while, and then because I really liked Neutral Milk Hotel, and I really liked and at the time I really liked the Front Bottoms, which is I'm a lot more like I they're cool. It's just not my favorite band anymore. But yeah, like that kind of stuff was like my shit, and I really liked acoustic guitar music a whole lot. So I started playing solo a lot, and then got some of my good friends to play with me. And then over time, a lot of self-destructive partying and a lot of early touring that wasn't exactly the smartest to do when you're not like emotionally or like maturely ready for that.
Yeah, that's young.
It kind of got us ahead of ourselves for a little bit, not like being able to like write records, and like we kind of had like a halt in that sense where we weren't as creative and more so focusing on like just the fun of playing. And like we probably got like really serious as a band when we were like 18 or so, and added like the right folks to the team to like really like take the idea farther. But yeah, no, we've been around since high school, and the only consistent member in the band is our like from that period is our saxophone player Hakeem, and like they've been in the band pretty much since we were in high school together. And then like Eli is the second longest member that's been in the band. And then since then we've added Trisha, Jane, and Pete, and it's been perfect.
Yeah, and I again, just from the last couple of years of being able to see Teenage Halloween play, I've seen, different
that
people
iteration
up, but no, if it's maybe 4 people or 9 people, everyone's always so tight. They know all the songs, and it's a blast. It's a blast.
It's definitely a product of mania, and that like because I really like really grilling songs into people I play music with. And like a big thing about that the way I write songs is I try and write songs that are like I try and make them like kind of lyrically diverse, but I like to make them easy enough that like you can have anyone play over them. Like that was definitely like at like a point, my whole goal was to be able to like have like a song that's like a good enough skeleton that whoever I was playing with, it's like
sure
it felt like it could be like interpreted. Cause like I feel like it's really like if you write really complex songs, you have to have a set group of people you jam with. And then but like the way I was trying to write songs is like simple, but like the lyrics are more to the point. so I'd be able to like play whatever show I really wanted to play when I was younger, and like be able to like play with whoever.
Very sick. And so, was this release that we're celebrating? Is this your first LP?
Or yeah, it's our first album, and it's
Go ahead.
Yeah, 6 years in the making.
I was gonna ask how long it's been. So what inspired, after 6 years, you finally just saying, let's write or record this full length? Is it something you attempted before? I think if we're assuming our listeners aren't in bands and they really don't know how albums work, they're not, if you want to go about recording them the right way, they're not very inexpensive to do.
Oh, they're rough. I feel like the reason that we recorded it now was because that, like, so we started it a year ago, and there was a point where we all kind of were like, are we gonna keep doing this or not? Like, essentially, like, are we gonna like what, we have not made a record yet, like what we have to, or it's like not gonna, this band can't keep going, because it's been over half a decade without a full-length record, and we have so much ideas, and we just like still get together all the time, and it just never was like, and like we've talked about it in passing, but it kind of was just like the thing that sealed the deal of this band like keeping on going. And we definitely were lazier when we were younger, so it was definitely a level of like, we wanted to make a record, but we just were like, too much money, like maybe next year kind of vibes.
Sure.
And then, but we definitely, like, last year it was like, all right, gotta do this. We feel like we've been looked at as that band that doesn't do shit and just plays shows for too long. And we just, we realized that, yeah, we had to save up, do that, deal with that. Yeah, and now we are already writing a second record. So it's a weird, like, recording is so wonderful and fulfilling and addicting. So like we finished this record, now we put it out, and now we are already set on making another one. So
do you prefer to be in the studio or play live?
I would say that I would prefer playing live, but there's no feeling like if you nail something in the studio. Like if there's something that if the best feeling for me personally with music as a whole is that whole like when you're listening back to a take and it's like you're jamming, like you feel like you're jamming to like what you did. Like you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like I can bob my head into this. I feel like it's cool. And that is definitely the best feeling. Like being able to like listen back to something that you made and feel like you could hear that like in your car. Like that shit is like, that's a great thing.
So coming in, you knew that you were going to do this full length, and again, you saved up your money. Did you kind of just say, we're going to see where our creativity takes us, or did you kind of nail down a plan of we're going to do X amount of songs, we're going to get it done between this month, and so on and so forth?
We are like, we have been, like last year we planned so many different months to do it.
Oh, sure.
And every single time it just,
you're also like, dealing with how many schedules, right? Because of how many members.
Yeah. But like now it's like, oh my God, now we're all like in it. So like, it's like, nice. There's no even, we all just want to do whatever we can. But like back then, yeah, we were like, on top of schedules being rough, we were also like just planning it. And then like, we just didn't feel ready yet. We didn't like feel like we had the right songs. And then we had like months before we planned a July recording with Evan, and like deciding to do Evan was because I did another band with him called Magic Grelin where we recorded with Evan, and decided to do that because I never felt more comfortable in the studio with someone else. So we just we chose July. We wrote some of these songs very, very right before the record, and like very last minute. And I have the lyrics for a while, but like we rushed, like not rushed, but like got a couple of them done right before. And so July was good. It was a good deadline to set. And then it was a year in the making because that, oh my God, like the whole, never did the record process. So the whole thing with like putting out a full length was way more wild than I expected. Like the whole like planning thing for it, like being able to like just like decisions. It's like I don't even like know where to go to dinner. Or like I don't even know where to take a walk with my good friends sometimes. And like choosing like what color your record of 350 like that are getting distributed, like if you choose like choosing what color the vinyl is going to be, those are like big weird decisions that like just got me so like swamped like for like a whole year, like just figuring all those little ass things out. And like just realizing that a record takes that much work is like ridiculous, because like we literally July 2019 is when we recorded it.
Wow, yeah. Well, and then you talk about pressing all those vinyls. You released this record through Don Giovanni Records, correct?
Yes.
How did, I mean, if you're able to speak to it at any sense, like how did that partnership come about? Like how were you able to hook up with them?
That was a lot of years in the making too, because
of course,
New Jersey. I knew Joe. I knew Joe because that we played an after party for, he had a music festival called the New Alternative Music Fest, and that was like an Asbury Park Fest that like Screaming Females played, like Tenement, bunch of Don Giovanni bands. And a friend of his that knew us told him that like we're a cool band to have play, because he was trying to book like all locals after parties. And like he wanted like, I guess he wanted like party bands, like fun bands. And his friend like mentioned us and he booked us, and then we met him through that. We've probably been hitting him up to put out our record since we first started. So Joe's like a really close friend, so I don't feel bad making this joke that like the harassment also probably helped. And like, and no, it's been great. Like I've been hitting him up for 6 years to put out a record, like every time we finish something. And then he was like really down, and he actually reached out to us about like, yo, you got a record going on now? Like my time is freeing up, like a year and a half ago. And I was like, oh shit, definitely. Cause that was, they're such a good label. So it was like really fun to like put it out with them.
Yeah. And it was such exciting news for us to see, you know, Teenage Halloween get that kind of deal, if you will. And I think it's, you know, yes, you were friendly with Joe, and yes, you played that show for him, but you guys put in so much work. And I think it's, you know, I think people start bands, they're like, okay, I'm just going to write a song and then we're going to get signed and then all my dreams are going to come true. But it's not. How many tours did Teenage Halloween do? Like, how far have you traveled? And again, it's been 6 years in the making.
I would say the farthest we ever went was like St. Louis. Like we've never went past there, weird enough. But we went to Fest in 2018, and we did a lot of tours though. That's the thing. Like we did a whole lot of tours, but never to like the West Coast and stuff. And I would definitely consider it a lot of work, because it was like as many tours and weekends as we could do like per year, like with like really excessive promoting and stuff. So it definitely feels good to sit back and be like, all right, people are helping us with something. Like it's time to just like sit back and let things happen.
Yeah, that's terrific. That's terrific. And I mean, I mentioned it before. You've always been a role model, because, you know, we've only had the opportunity and the time to do you know, maybe a quick weekender here and there. But, and, you know, we'll feel like it was difficult, and we've had a lot of fun, and we felt we put the work in. But, you know, then we go, but look at what Teenage Halloween's doing. Like, they've got it.
Well, I definitely would say that in a way, the excessive level of touring at a young age is counterproductive to like your future. So I think that it's cool that y'all at least like went to school and stuff. And like when this thing is done, like you're gonna be like rocking all over because you're doing like all of your things that you want to do. And I feel like even though music is a very like attainable and good goal, it's just it definitely like it feels weird thinking about how long we've been doing it when we assess that we're only 22. Like me and like a couple others. Like we've been doing this shit since high school. And we were like, fuck college, rock and roll only and shit like that. And like it feels like it's paying off now, but for a long time it was like, damn, this is really ridiculous of us. Like we really thought this was like a good move and like stuff like that.
Well, I mean, aside from you're working hard with the band, you also did a lot as an individual, like just for the scene overall. I remember there was a period of time where you were just booking tours for bands, right?
Yeah. I was my whole goal was to like. So I got like I get really down on myself about like taking credit for things. So like my whole entire goal for a long time was to like lift up other artists that we would play with that like weren't really like aware of what to do to like go on tour and stuff. So like that was definitely like there was a period of my life where I was really like dedicating a lot of my time to like helping other people. So it feels good to like be like getting things right now because it like I seriously spent like years booking shows nonstop for so many bands and stuff. And when quarantine ends, I'm going to help facilitate things, but I'm not going to be booking shows anymore because it's it's really stressful. And like when this whole thing started, this pandemic, it was a really disheartening feeling to have everything like get canceled. So I feel like I want to just like avoid that feeling in the future.
For sure. Well, I mean, again, I thank you just for being such a cornerstone in the
Thanks. Yeah.
community.
No, it's fun. I'm really proud of like where we've all gone, like and like all of our friends and stuff. Like it feels really important to be like weird enough, like there is all right, so there's a lot more important social issues going on right now, but it feels really good on a personal level to be able to put out art right now, even though that obviously should not be the forefront of people's focus. It does feel like it feels good to be able to be making do with the pandemic.
For sure. And I look at our music as like if I can like distract the listener from life for 20-30 minutes and just let them enjoy what I put out there, that's a win for me.
Yeah.
Do you have a similar outlook, or like
Yeah.
do you write songs for you, or do you write songs keeping in mind this might be able to help somebody?
I would say more the latter, but I would also say that it is important to write songs that you like and you can resonate with. So I would say that I'm like in the middle, but more towards the other side of like for the listener. But I definitely wouldn't want to make something that just other people could feel and not myself. So I think that I like to be very personal with songs, and I do hope that people can relate to like just like ideas that I'm personally putting out. So it's a weird thing. Like I'm just hoping that like someone else starts a band and does it better than I do one day. So that's my goal. Like,
So the record's been out maybe 2 weeks now of this show being recorded.
yeah,
Have people been reaching out, telling you how much or what they think of the record? How's that been?
yeah, it's been fucked. Like people have been so nice, and I'm like I really was surprised because like we've put out a lot. We put out songs in the past, and like there's obviously mixed feedback, which is like with all bands, and like putting out this record, it's felt very nice right now. Like we're very much so like dealing with like the positive end of the spectrum, which has been a huge relief. And we are definitely like proud of ourselves because we know that we did what we could, and we're just relieved that there's no hate. It's been lovely. Like the fact that like there's no like fuck this album and shit. Like it's been great. Like in that sense, like we've definitely been able to avoid like horrible criticism.
There's nothing to criticize. It's a really, really fun listen. Do you personally have a favorite track, or are they all kind of like your babies?
I wouldn't even consider them my babies compared to what we're writing right now. Like honestly, when we jammed, so we just jammed this week to write LP2, and I'm so stoked about this record, but my mind is very one track, and like when we're moving on to something else, I'm like way more stoked about that.
Yeah.
My favorite song on this record personally is Figwit. Like that's the one that
That's my favorite.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, that's the one that I personally like I resonate with the most. I like that Trisha has a standalone vocal part in it. I like that we have like I like that it's like kind of like a little more weird than our other songs. Like but like the next thing we're doing is now going to be, I'm excited because Trisha is now also a lead singer in the band. So the next record is like, there's going to be a couple, like 3 or so songs that she sings fully that I'm not even on. I just rock on guitar. And like the new, I would say that the stuff we've been writing right now is if like, I think it would be like, if you know Bad Moves.
I'm not familiar, no.
Then I would say it's more like, Marked Men? They're like a fast like punk band.
Yeah.
I would say it's like Marked Men meets Nirvana vibes. Like we're definitely trying to we have like way like more booming guitars that we've been writing for like these new songs where it's like kind of like Nirvana and the Smashing Pumpkins, because that's like kind of the stuff we've been into. And then with like just like a more like, I don't know, it's like it's definitely weirder. Like I'm excited that like this record has made us able to like collaborate and write even weirder music, and that's felt very good.
That's so on brand for Teenage Halloween. Because you know what? You ask bands right after they release something, oh, I hate to ask this, but what's next? And they're always like, oh, I don't know. We're just living in the moment. But no, you guys are hard at work.
LP2.
Yeah.
We have 4 finished songs right now that we wrote, and now we have like 10 more that ideas. So
that's exciting.
We're gonna put it together. We're not gonna release it probably for like 2 years, but like because a year to make the record. No, I mean like a year to like make the record happen, and like a year to like get good at the songs. So
sure,
we're definitely like, it's gonna be a while till we release something else, but we're already like on it. We're working on a smaller release that we can't talk about, where there's where it's like less songs and it's like might be with another band. And yeah, no, we're staying very active in quarantine.
That's excellent. Well, I mean, so usually when bands release an album, they're promoting it. Ways to do it before the album's released is you drop some singles, maybe do some interviews here and there. And then after the album drops is usually bands will go on like a tour. Obviously, with the pandemic, that's not an option. How have you been trying to, counteract that, promote your music while not being able to go out and play the songs in front of people?
So our heads have been in our phones. That's like the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
Keep yourself relevant online. And like you don't have to force it, but I feel like just like engaging with people during like a pandemic like this, like online is like a key thing right now, because the people can't see each other. And it definitely has given me immense anxiety to be controlled by technology in that way. But like it also is like, it's also like really important to like, it's important to keep things accessible. So that's the only way.
For sure. And so, I mean, what advice would you give if there's a band, maybe there's somebody listening to this right now who really wants to start a band, and it would be a dream come true for them to release an album with Don Giovanni Records at some point. Like, what advice would you give to somebody just starting out now?
That's a good question. I would say that you should care more about music than drugs. I think that you should care more about like connecting to an audience than playing a big show. I would also say that personal connections within music that you make that aren't just for your gain are so much more worthwhile and important than like trying to step up really fast. Because of the most important way to get your music heard out there, like accepted by people, is to just be a human about it. Like I feel like if you start, like, this is one thing that I've had to learn, because like people, when you get a bunch of validation when you first start playing music, you lose a lot of control of like what you're doing it for, and you start to just kind of like sink into that. And I feel like an important thing you got to do is just to make sure you keep your eyes strictly on just like playing and staying straight from drugs and partying. Like I'm someone that drinks a few beers nowadays, but when I was younger, the music scene is very unsafe and toxic and can pull people in a really unhealthy way and like make their lives way more self-destructive. And I hope that the next generation is able to wane away from that and understand that like things can get done and can still be fun without like adhering to things that other people want you to do.
Sure. And how much is of that is just surrounding yourself with the right people, whether that is your bandmates or just friends?
I would say not really, because that you're gonna be at shows with everyone. So
Sure.
you have to just like love everyone, try and understand everyone, make personal connections like that, like make music feel worthwhile, but also keep in mind that your health, safety, and self-care comes first before anything on the side like art and music. Like that can be your priority, but also yourself should be before that.
That's excellent.
Yeah, I also think I also was gonna say that when we were gonna release this record, we had a plan to tour for 45 days in June. We were gonna do a full US all around the whole country, go to
Wow.
Canada, everything, and then the pandemic like kind of like that shit. And then we're like it's fine, but yeah, we definitely had a lot we were gonna do on this record that like isn't what we're doing now. And I feel like that kind of goes to say for everyone that was gonna put out something right now. It's like there are so many plans that just like went in limbo and are like just don't mentions now.
Yeah, it's a
I feel
shame.
that.
Such a shame.
Yeah, it's all right. We actually were thinking like, so who the fuck knows when shows are back, but when they are safely back, we probably are gonna do something celebrating this record. Depending on how long, maybe if it like a year tops, we're gonna give it. Like if it's like a year from now, a release show might be fine because that there never was one. But definitely like the next thing we put out is gonna be the touring one.
Excellent. I can't wait for all of that. That's so exciting for you.
Yeah, we've been trying to keep a really like positive mindset about what's going to happen in the future, just because it's important to keep yourself like not it's important to keep yourself not regretting the present, and like I'm learning that over time.
Yeah, I mean everything's kind of out of our control, you know.
Yeah, like we're all fucked. Like it's not just you kind of shit. Like it's like we got it, like it's like that solidarity of all being fucked is like really important right now. Just being like, oh, we all could have gone on tour and done promotion stuff for our records. Like it's not just me. Like we're all in the same boat, and so there's nothing to be like upset about in the end, because it's like it's just I don't know. I bet you all the nihilists are really happy right now. Yeah.
So outside of music, how else do you spend your time? Do you have other passions or hobbies?
Yeah. I draw, but I haven't done it in a while because I don't feel very like right now. The fuck do you draw? That's my vibe. Like, I've been like in the beginning of quarantine, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna draw flowers and trees, and then like shit like that, and like people and like rooms and stuff like that. But then you see all that shit every single day and nothing new is happening because that you're like kind of like just chilling all the time. So like right now drawing has been a little less of a thing for me because visual art for me usually pertains to like new sites and settings. So I've just been writing a fuck ton of songs. I watch a lot of movies. Like that's like been a really big thing for me right now, trying to like, I never saw most movies before quarantine and everyone would reference movies all the time. And I'd be like really oblivious to it. And then like this whole time I've been like director by director getting really into film.
What was the best one you saw?
Three good ones. I've seen like 250 movies on quarantine. The three good ones are The Seventh Seal. It's a movie by Ingmar Bergman about a knight during the Black Plague that is playing chess with death, like the Grim Reaper. And it's it's a movie from the 50s or 40s or 60s maybe, but it's like I forget the era of Bergman. I've seen a lot of his movies recently. It has the main character is Max von Sydow, who is in The Exorcist. It's a Swedish movie, all in Swedish, and he just plays like an angry like knight that's like trying to find the meaning of life, and he's playing chess with death, and if he loses, it's the end. And it's so loaded. It has so much like meaningful like philosophy and stuff in it that like my mind was blown. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh, this is like really just an annoying, whimsical movie. And then when you watch it again, it like if you're me, like a lot of people watched it the first time and were like, this is fucking awesome. But like I watched it again and I was like, this is absolutely incredible. I think it's because I was a lot more sad the second time I watched it, so I was just like, oh, okay, coming to terms with death. That makes sense. That's kind of wild. But then another one of the best movies I saw recently was Vertigo, Alfred Hitchcock. It's really wild. I'm not going to ruin it for anyone. Also, The Wicker Man was really wild, like the one from the 70s, not the Nicolas Cage one. And that one was great because it's about being like deserted somewhere and like there's like a pagan group and it's like about like their like festivities for like harvest time. It's like really, really rad. It's like very it's like religious horror, which is like kind of my thing. And Uncut Gems.
I saw that one.
Badass movie. Really, really good. Adam Sandler was phenomenal in it.
Yeah,
I was like,
I forgot it was him.
yeah, no, I mean, probably the best movie, like it didn't stick with me, but probably like the best movie I saw all of quarantine was The Godfather. But,
Nice.
And I never saw The Godfather until like June. Like I watched the whole 3-part thing and I was like completely enthralled by it. I thought it was like one of the best pieces of cinema ever. Like honestly, like that was like it's out of control. But yeah, Uncut Gems is like The Godfather on a ton of caffeine.
I'm pleasantly surprised. I don't know why, but I thought you were going to come out with titles like Jurassic Park or Terminator or something, and you got some straight up films.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't know. I'm not like a Roger Ebert, but I really like watching I like watching movies that provoke thought a whole lot, like recently. Cause like I think that like if I'm gonna sit down and watch something, I want to like gain something from it. In the beginning of quarantine, when I was a lot more like charged and like just like needed to do something, I would watch like a whole lot of like Tarantino movies and just like be like really excited by like the gore. But now it's just kind of like, oh, I want to watch like just straight up meaningful films that make me think about my own self. It's weird.
No, it's awesome. That's why they make them.
Yeah, it's like it really goes to show when like just looking at something makes you think. So that's been a thing. And then also I make hot sauce as my job now. Like I've been like literally like nonstop making hot sauce and stuff, putting out new flavors every couple weeks and like sending them out via mail. And like,
Eric does that.
Yeah,
Really?
I mean, not to that extent. I've just been brewing small batches and giving them to friends and family. I've
Cool,
been
though,
growing a couple peppers in my backyard.
yeah, no, that's the
We gotta
shit.
we gotta exchange some
Collab.
sauce.
Collab. Yeah, no, it's like we don't need to collab on a song. We're gonna collab on a song. That shit is fucking awesome though. That's cool.
What kind of flavors do you concoct there, Luke?
So I just finished blueberry maple habanero. Sold a lot of those. I did like spinach cayenne chipotle. I sold those. I sold out of all of them too, which was really crazy. Like I wasn't expecting that because like I thought it was like not gonna do anything, and people I guess need sauce right now. But like the other one I did was ancho, habanero, and curry.
Whoa,
And
that sounds awesome.
But the spinach one also had honey in it, I forget, and that tastes really good because if you ever have like a kale smoothie, it's kind of like the same vibe, this hot sauce, but it just kind of has like a slight kick to it. And the one that I have right now that I still have in stock is I just made last week. I just finished you ever have Thai iced tea?
I don't think I have.
So it's like at like Thai restaurants, they have like a very specific type of tea that is like that's like grown in Thailand, and I got some of it and like I made a Thai tea sauce where it's Thai tea, sugar, lemongrass, and oat milk with habanero.
Wow.
It's weird. It's really crazy though. I mean, like it's actually my favorite one because like I like the sweet hot thing, and like when you put it on like fish, it tastes amazing. Like it's really good. Or like tofu wings.
Damn, I gotta buy a bottle.
Oh yeah, you too. We could trade at some point.
Ooh, hell yeah.
When I'm in Brunswick, I'll hit you up and we can like maybe do like a trade because I did I love other people's sauces too. Like it's a weird hobby.
It's a fun little community.
It is though. Like Evan shit like weak sauce in Philly. Like
no, I don't think I have.
So
I'm pretty new to the game. I'm just getting into it.
Yeah, no, I don't know anyone, and I just I have two friends that make hot sauce. My friend Alki, who plays in like Smart Hearts and the Guests, and they're like punk bands in Philly, and they have a thing called Crungleberry, and it's like a blueberry hot sauce, and then Evan, who's in No Thank You and the Super Weeks, has it has a thing called weak sauce where there's like just like a million flavors and stuff. Like
I definitely have heard of this. Then I didn't realize he was in the Super Weeks.
Yeah,
I definitely have heard of that.
There was a modern baseball sauce when modern baseball was a thing. Like
that's the one that I had.
yeah, it's awesome. And like Evan recorded our teenage record, so we Evan kind of gave me the idea of making hot sauce because I loved hot sauce so much, and he's like, yo, it's easy as fuck. Like, it's easy as fuck if you are creative with flavors. Like, it's cool. And then, I started doing it, and it's been, like, really, really fun. And, like, sometimes the sauce is shit. Like, people just don't like the sauce you come up with. And it's, like, the best feeling when you're like, oh, I'm, like, grounded right now. Like, I can make a new thing.
So are you, like, growing your own peppers?
No, I actually have been like the way I do it is like I get from Restaurant Depot, if you know what that is, it's kind of like a big it's like a restaurant like surplus store. I buy dried habaneros right now that I've been like fermenting in water, and then like I use the water and I use the pepper itself and cut it into small pieces and like blend it with everything. I'm growing Scotch bonnets at the moment, which are so good. And I also I got this habanero pepper that's like a Chinese habanero pepper, and I'm like gonna grow that because it tastes really, really amazing. And
I'm growing cayenne. I have one cayenne plant. I have 3 ghost pepper plants, but only one of them is producing anything. And I have a little spicy cherry pepper plant.
that is awesome. Ghost pepper is so ridiculous. I wanna get into ghost pepper. I just like before I get into a pepper, I like to try other sauces with the pepper in it so I can like really understand like what goes well with it. Because hot sauce is weird, and you probably know this. Like you're like not every pepper goes great with something.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't really used too much of the ghost pepper just because it does have a very distinctive flavor, and it kind of it only goes well with certain flavors, and it's you can tell when it's not working with something.
Yeah, so there's a I had a ghost pepper sauce recently that like I might try one day that you definitely should. It's like kind of tamarind plants. You know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Like a tamarind. If you boil the tamarind, because like how it's like kind of like sap that's on like a nut like thing.
Mm-hmm.
You like boil it like piece by piece, and then it like melts off because it's just a sap, and then it's like tamarind is used in like Middle Eastern dishes a lot, and ghost pepper is like more on the Middle Eastern side of the world, like where they're grown like mainly, and the way that those foods taste together, like tamarind and ghost pepper, because I had a tamarind sauce, it's like absolutely ridiculous because because ghost pepper is kind of bitter and so is tamarind, but like tamarind has like that sweet honey type flavor to it. So I want to try that out because that's crazy.
What's your distribution method? Like, do you have little vials or jars that you send out to people? Do you mail them? Do you hand deliver them?
I
Just
do
in his
mail.
hands.
Yeah. Pour it in their hand. No, I do delivery and I mail hot sauce. And the I buy bottles from Wayfair, which is like a website.
They got just what I need.
Yes, I like
So the song says.
Yeah, the Wayfair site has bottles that have like like the plastic top with the little circle, which makes it drip better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that with it.
Nice.
So every podcast episode we do like an ad read, but we just like find a fake product to do an ad read for. What's the name of your hot sauce? We could do like a real ad read for the first time ever.
It's it's called if you ever listen to like if you ever like see our Instagram, I post about something called Complete Goner sauce. Complete Goner. Yeah.
So, what's the best way to reach out to you for a vial?
Instagram. A vial. Yeah. No, I should start saying a vial. It's kind of like
It makes
I don't know why I say it.
It's
like sound like a mad scientist.
Yeah, it's potion like. Yeah, no, Complete Goner sauce on Instagram.
Complete Goner sauce on Instagram. If you want some of that, that sweet hot.
Yeah. If you wanna get weird, that's where you go. Cause it's made by a weird, mad hot sauce scientist. Yeah, it's fun. It's like. It definitely is like the weirdest activity. So and it feels great to just be sitting at your blender for hours trying to like figure out what the fuck to do.
Yeah, definitely. The worst part is cleanup though.
Cleanup is ass. Yeah. Yeah. No, really horrible.
Luke, do you want to play a quick couple rounds of this or that, and we could call it an evening?
Yeah, totally. What is this or that?
This or that is a game where I present you with 2 options, and you have to choose either this or that.
Yeah, all right. I'll play this or that.
Okay. Do you have any, Eric? You want me to read from my handy dandy list here?
You can read from your handy dandy list. I'll see if anything comes to mind.
Okay. All right, ready? Reboots or spin-offs?
Reboots or spin-offs? Reboots, because that technology and thought progresses over time.
Yeah? What's your take, Eric? Did we lose Eric?
Is Lion King 1.5 sequel or spinoff?
Eric, you gotta talk again. You're all frozen, buddy.
Oh, did I freeze?
You did.
Am I frozen?
No, you're good now.
Yeah, we see
I
you
did
now.
freeze? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, does Lion King 1.5 count as a reboot, or what was the other option?
A spin-off?
I would say
Is it a spin-off or a reboot?
I think it was a spin-off, but it was really well made.
It's weird how good it is.
I thought it was so cool how they peeked into the original film and we got to see what these characters were doing during the other parts.
Yeah, I actually I saw some Disney movies recently, and they're actually like not all that bad. Like I was like, oh, like I really loved these as a kid, but no way in hell I'm watching them. Like Bambi is so sad and so
Yeah.
like that is like an amazing movie.
Eric, are you with us?
Yeah, I unfroze. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. At least it's waiting until the end this time.
Yeah, this is the last thing. Okay, my next one is cold cuts or deep cuts.
So what does what do they have, but like in a sense of them having nothing to do with each other,
Yeah,
correct?
I guess so.
Okay. I would say that I don't really, I like, if I eat meat, I really like it cooked. So I would say deep cuts, because that B-sides to records are usually like really cool and weirder.
Swag. What's your take, Eric?
I'm a big fan of lunch meat.
Oh no, that's cool. I just like weird, and the only like cold cut that I can like fuck with right now is salami.
Do you like a sweet salami or a...
Spice.
Yeah? Of course, you
You're
make hot
asking a hot
sauce.
sauce, man.
What am
Come
I
on.
thinking?
Come on.
All right, we'll top it off. We'll top it off with this one. Cupcakes or muffins?
And it has to be one of them, right?
Yeah, but look. I'm not gonna like. If you say cupcakes, I'm not gonna take away muffins from you. You'll have both.
I
I'm just
hate them
wondering.
both so much, but I would say that like cupcakes because the frosting. Like if I had to choose, because the muffins are usually like dry, and it's kind of like bread or something. I would say cupcakes because I really like I actually really dig like sweet frosting and shit like that. So.
Wow, I think I would say muffins because sometimes the frosting is too rich on a cupcake.
Yeah, I mean, I'm into like this is weird. I'm into like creamy shit. So that sounds so fucking weird, but yeah, but that's like I don't know. I would say cupcakes. Yo, Eric, you got any this or that?
Ah, shit.
They're hard to think of.
Skyrim or Oblivion, if you're a gamer.
Wait, what did you say?
I said Skyrim or Oblivion.
Could you maybe list two different games in that? Because I never played either.
Never mind. Those are like the only ones that I played. I'm not.
Yeah.
My thing isn't that big.
What about Sonic or Mario?
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh. What are you trying to take my job? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no, it's a really hard pick actually.
I think I'd pick Mario.
Mario has a
just
larger
for the sheer vastness of Mario's games versus Sonic's games. Like you can Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros, Mario Party, Luigi's Mansion counts.
Mario's like a soap opera.
For sure.
It's a game and a soap opera. You think about all the emotion in those games. Like everyone just gets fucked with by a giant dragon turtle, and it's just like always these working class guys struggling to figure it out.
I know they've tried it before, but if they again right now made a live action Mario movie, who would play Mario?
That's a good one. I think. Give me a sec. I think I'm. All right, so I think the bet. Was this if I could choose casting? Zach Galifianakis as Mario, badass. Imagine.
Yeah, you're right.
Zach Galifianakis as Mario, like just like that comic relief because he's so dry, but he's also like he kind of looks like Mario, so it's like it would be incredible. And what's his face? Luigi, I gotta think. Zach Galifianakis as Mario. I don't know. I think like Luigi could be played by like Jake Gyllenhaal or some shit.
I would say
Like, I don't
Waluigi
know.
would be Adam Driver.
Yeah, because if you have Kylo Ren next to the Hangover guy, oh, imagine if Bowser was played by Gary Busey.
Whoa, shoot! Talk about a villain.
Yeah, I watched. I just watched. Do you know Hider in the House? Do you know what that is?
No.
It's a really, really horrible Gary Busey movie that just got added to Amazon Prime for free. And it is the B movie of all B movies. I recommend anyone that likes bad, horrible movies to watch that movie because it's Gary Busey as the lead role.
Yikes.
Horrible guy.
I think my Waluigi would be Christian Bale because I know he could put on the weight.
Oh, the Chaney movie.
Exactly.
What is Vice?
Yeah, Vice.
Vice was a long ride. Did you like it?
Yeah, I don't know why I wasn't expecting it to be as political as it was. I don't know why, but it was pretty eye-opening for sure. And after a biopic like that, I like to fact check later on, and that seemed pretty accurate.
It is one of the most like sad things because it's like on top of it being like already a bunch of fucked people, it's like also like really manipulative people.
Yeah.
It's like
Me and my mom, we've been watching Veep on HBO. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's just a satire on, basically how Washington D.C. works in the White House and stuff.
Oh, I'm interested. I would watch that.
Yeah, and I remember when that show was on, because it's a comedy and so many wacky things would happen in that show. But when people would be interviewed from the show about it, they'd say people from Washington would go up to them and be like, "You got everything so right."
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's so scary though, because if you end up watching the show, just the way people talk to each other and the backstabbing and how like nobody's in it to like make America like a good place to live. They're just looking out for themselves. It's scary to think about.
Yeah, what do you I saw a ad yesterday when I was watching a movie for a show called Hunters. Did you see that yet?
I didn't.
It looks
That's on
great.
Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah, it's
With
My
Pacino,
sister
I
watches
think.
that. It's about Nazi hunters, right?
It's literally Al Pacino and it's directed by Jordan Peele.
Oh, sick.
Like Get Out and Us, and
Yep.
he directed that, and it's Al Pacino. So I'm just like, this is probably wild. I love The Irishman, so I feel like it would be really good.
Sick. Yeah, there's so much cool stuff to watch. But I'm the type of person where like if I sit around all day and I watch like more than one movie, I'm like, there's so much better use of my time. And you're out here writing the second LP.
That LP is just it's gonna take a long time. So keep watching movies.
How do we deserve this? Do these raps all need support? I crave validation. I am your last resort. Toxic roads.
That was our conversation with Luke Henderiks of Teenage Halloween. Such a pleasure to have them on. And so grateful that they were able to take the time to speak with us. Any final thoughts here, Eric? You learned a lot about the hot sauce game, didn't you?
Yeah, we were sharing some sauce secrets, some secrets of the sauce, if you will. Hopefully we'll be dropping some fire sauces soon. Luke Henderiks featuring Eric.
Eric, I've had some of your sauce. It's pretty good.
Thanks, man. Hopefully more people get to try it soon. I've been very lazy. I haven't made a batch in a little while, but I'm my sister and her fiance just gave me 3 giant bags of peppers from her fiance's parents' garden. So I have 3 big bags of habaneros and jalapenos in my fridge that I need to get cooking.
I was there when that transaction happened.
Yeah.
History, it's history. Cool. Well, I'm excited for you, and I'm super
everyone make sure you listen to the new Teenage Halloween album.
For sure. Well, I think the track maybe, I don't know if you have a track in mind. I think we might be better off just sharing Luke's favorite song, which was also mine. Here's Fig Wig off the new Teenage Halloween record. Hope you enjoy.
Have a great week, everyone.
Yeah, have a great week, and come back soon to Soundtown.
See you next time.